Hello, my name's James. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about my 1972 retro rod or Grand Touring car, whatever you want to call it. Starting with the front of the car, kept the front for the most part mostly stock, except for you can see the 2-inch flares that cover the tires, but we'll get to that in a minute. Switched all the electric in this car has been redone, including the headlights. It's got Camaro motors in it now. It's got a fuse box in the front that we use to actuate the horn, the headlight motors, the headlights. So now you can put the headlights up, the car being off. Everything is actuated with relays. Got a whole relay center up front out of a stock Camaro also. So it makes all the direct wiring that we used to have and the problems with the switches burning out, that should be gone. These are the Camaro motors here, and this is the relay box for it. All the relays and fuses and everything that you need for everything up front is in there. Moving on to the heart of the car, the engine compartment. What we have here is a 5.7 liter out of a 2003 Corvette. I pulled it out, it had 19,000 miles on it. It's an LS6. The cam's been changed. It's got a Magnuson supercharger on top of it. The Magnuson supercharger has an LS2 snout, so it breathes a little bit better. 4-inch tubing coming here, so 103 millimeter mass airflow sensor from Lincolnfelter. The induct tubing comes around, and there's a big K&N filter down there that is shielded from most of the hot air coming from the engine. You got 1 3/4 inch primaries coming off the engine. They've been modified to fit this to fit the LS6 heads. They're originally hooker side pipes, so we had to cut those up to get them to fit. Jason at Elite Racing did an awesome job on that. Got a vintage air AC compressor. Got a Be Cool radiator. The cooler for the supercharger is up front, and got a oil catch can from Norris Motorsports here. You can also see, lean over, you can also see the frame down below. The frame has been gusseted per GM PowerBook. So it's been gusseted to seam welded and gusseted to make it a little bit stiffer. You can see tubular A-arms right here, and that's pretty much all for this side. Let's go on the other side and check out the brakes. On this side you can see the Wilwood master cylinder, the Wilwood brake bias adjustment valve, the Hydro Boost, and I'll get to the rest of the braking system here in a minute. But you also have you can see a little better view probably of the tubular A-arms. We have rack and pinion steering from Steeroids. Most of the suspension came from Van Steel, and again I'll talk about suspension here more in just a minute. You can see the firewall has been slicked up, and also the hood, where typically you have flat black paint and maybe padding or raw fiberglass. It's all been slicked up and cleaned up and painted with a final coat. All the parts have been either painted or powder coated in silver. Going down the side of the car here, in the front you have a 2-inch L88 flares. James Johnstone came over to the house and he did all the body work pretty much on the car. Did a real nice job of pulling the arch closer to the wheel. If you ever see a stock L88 flare, they're not quite as tight, especially in the rear. So he did a really good job on the body work. That's probably the biggest compliments I get from people is on the body work. The tires, Michelin Pilot Sports 275 in the front, wrapped around CCW 18 by 10 1/4 inch wheels. The front brakes are 14-inch rotors with 6-piston Wilwood brakes, aluminum hats. Usually there's a Stingray emblem here that's been shaved off. The egg crates, what they call them, they typically have chrome edges on them. That's gone. It's painted black now completely. Got the hooker side pipes, the cover from Steel Shields on here. The door locks have been shaved. The antenna that's typically here, that's been shaved. Got 4-inch LED flares in the rear. These tires, these are 335s Michelin Pilot Sports. 18 by 12.5-inch CCW wheels. Coming around to the deck lid. This used to have a luggage rack when we first got it. Now it's completely bare. The rear end, the Corvette emblem that's typically here, it's gone. The filler panel right here typically it's a bolted piece that has edges that you can see. On the side pipe cars, it's solid. On the rear exit, exhaust exit cars, it's got the exhaust here. But anyway, we filled this in completely, so there's no edges or anything there. The frame that typically goes around the license plate, that's gone. Nice and bodywork that area. The Corvette emblem that's typically here, it's gone. These are LED tail lights, backup lights. They look real nice at night, nice and bright. A lot brighter than the stock would have been. It's pretty much it for the body, I believe. I mean, there's a lot of little things that I've probably forgotten. Like the underside is completely coated with lizard skin, as well as the inside of the car for sound and heat deadening. So it still retains the removable rear window and all that. But that's pretty much it. Wanted to keep as much of the stock appearance as possible, just kind of slick it up. All right, most of the suspension came from band steel. In the front you have tubular A-arms, QA1 semi-coilovers with adjustable shocks, the larger sway bar, spreader bar from Van Steel also, which we had to remove temporarily to get the filter. Haven't quite figured that one out yet, but we'll get there. The rear suspension is, we got Van Steel trailing arms, have a single monoleaf spring, adjustable, and QA1 shocks, also adjustable. Moving on to the interior. Be on the passenger side real quick. Inside here, I have a leather steering wheel, odometer gauges, pretty much in the stock locations. The only gauge that's really changed is the clock's gone from a clock to a boost gauge for the supercharger. This rear center panel here, it's been changed. It's just a piece of aluminum that we've cut. Got different switches for the windows and door locks, automatic door locks, automatic windows. The Kenwood stereo head unit. Don't have all the speakers hooked up yet because I haven't found a need for it yet. The engine sounds great. Just kind of want to listen to that. Got aftermarket pedals down here. The seats are Corbu A4s, 6-point harness here, and vintage air AC controls. Have LED turn signals here, for of course they only work when the car is on, for your turn signals and your high beams. And this